Thanks for joining us once again. It's Vol here commentating on the Liquibition match between Rhett and Infernal. We're up to game 5 now, and the series is drawn 2-2. Both players up 2 games each, and Infernal as the green protest at the top right, Rhett as the red Zerg at the bottom left. The map is Steeps of War, or Steps of War. It's S-T-E-P-P-E-S, however you pronounce that. Again, got the game at 3 times speed at the beginning of the replay, just because I don't really have that much to say, so I'm just conserving YouTube space by speeding it all up. Infernal going for a double gateway after pylon there, and Rhett going for his same old build that he's gone for every single game. There's no real point going for a quick spawning pool, followed by no hatchery. I mean, and just massing Zerglings, because that really gives up the main advantage that Zerg have, which is their really good macro ability from the Queen, and it delays their roaches, essentially, because, delays critical mass roaches, I should say, because off one base, you're not really going to hit that critical mass of roaches as quickly, in my opinion, as if you go 2 hatcheries and really just start spamming drones and then build roaches from 2 hatcheries with all your larvae. So that's really why Rhett is doing the same build over and over again. Infernal looks to be going for something similar to what he did second game. I don't think he'll just push out with mass zealots from 2 gateways. The map's small, and obviously Rhett has seen exactly what he's doing. So as you can see here, he's moved out with 3 zealots, not pushing out. I think that's the wise thing to do. Okay, maybe he is pushing out, but the point is that he's going to be building a nexus to cover this whole thing while he's attacking. So there you have it. Roach Warren on cue. And this back to my point here, the pylon outside of space, just get ready to slam down some from photon cannons or whatever. And Infernal moving in with 3 zealots and a probe. Rhett is going to have to save up a few Zerglings if he wants to stop this. And looking back here, he's waiting for the next 2 zealots to come in as well. So Rhett actually catching these zealots off guard, surrounding them before they can catch up with their buddies. And here the forces are joined, so Infernal trying to play this safely, trying to do as much damage as he can. Looks like we may have a game on our hands here, because Rhett doesn't really have that much troops. He's used his larvae ability to actually spawn a lot of Zerglings though, so this is good. And he's got the Queen at home, so he should be able to do some counter attack damage here. But all hell breaking loose now. These zealots actually targeting drones and targeting Zerglings left and right, just attacking everything, swinging left and right. He is losing his zealots though, so Rhett doing a good job. But 2 more zealots on the way. 1 roach out now. A bit into a trouble. Rhett having to micro for his life here. With that roach. Of course, if he can keep the roach alive, it's going to get this right back to full health thanks to its regeneration. And now that 3 roaches are out, he should be able to do it quite easily. Look at that. And Queen staying alive. He's microed his Queen well, pulling it out of danger. This is like watching a Warcraft 3 game, essentially. You're like, your hero is on like 5 hit points and he has to run it away, and he doesn't have any town portal scrolls left. It's sort of like what I feel like right now, sort of watching the early game Warcraft 3 harass. Anyway, Infernal has achieved his goal. He's put Rhett in the back foot. He's got an expansion up, but of course Rhett knows what's going on. Rhett isn't going to be ultra defensive now, because he sees that the expansion's been coming up in the meantime. He's got the intel. He knows what's going on, and it's just a matter of getting the economy balance right and building enough roaches and really dominating this game. He doesn't really want to have the same thing happen to him again that happened the previous couple of games, which is being crushed by Immortals from this early rush with a proxy Robo Bay. That's not going to be happening here, because Infernal's gone for a build more similar to what he did game 2, which was to get that expansion up and really wait around for the appropriate tech. And what I'm interested to see will be, what if Infernal decides to really just hunker down in the space, save up for a while, and then go with a big mass of Immortals and other troops, and find something to really counter those Zerglings really quickly, so that his Immortals can really lay waste to a lot of those, lay waste to a lot of those roaches. So that's what I'm really banking on Infernal to try and come up with. We'll see shortly what happens. My prediction here is that Rhett will just go mass roaches, as he has every single game so far. The previous game he attempted to do some kind of build involving a spire, and that didn't work because he really got hit at that window where he just built the spire and invested the money in that, was saving up for Mutalisks, I think. He did use the spire earlier for Corruptors, and I think Corruptors are the answer to, the obvious answer to Colossus. But Colossus can really ruin your day if you're relying on a lot of Zerglings and maybe, allowing your roaches to be slammed by that Colossus area of effect attack. But Corruptors really sort that out for you quickly, because you send the Corruptors in first, nail the Colossus,
and then just move in with your roaches after the Colossus have been dealt with. Warp Gate's being upgraded now from Infernal. He's got plenty of time in his hands. He's got no less than 4 cannons, and I almost feel like something is wrong here, where the Protoss player has to get 4 cannons, even though the Zerg player was kind of set back a little bit, and the Zerg player had gone for a double hatchery, and it's pretty early into the game. You definitely want to see this in StarCraft 1, needing that many cannons in this sort of situation. At least I feel that way. He's now going for his robotics facility, as he should. That's the sort of a building which will allow you to produce either Colossus or Immortals, both good units. Immortals probably the favourable one in this matchup, as we've seen. So that'll be interesting to find out. And it's really going to be a waiting game. Unfortunately, guys, I've shown you a series which doesn't really showcase a lot of interesting action. We had a very exciting first few minutes there, but into this sort of stage of the game, it's really watching the macro. And in StarCraft 1, there was a lot of sitting around and watching macro as well, but there was a lot of decision making going on in their bases and so forth. Whereas this sort of feels a bit like a Warcraft 3 game, except maybe all the creeps have been destroyed and you're sort of waiting for that big battle at the end. I mean, I've watched many of those Warcraft 3 games. I've played in some of them, and I know that it doesn't really inspire you to watch a lot more replays if that's really all you're seeing. Anyway, Red has actually gone for a spy this game, interestingly enough, so that's something to talk about. And I think that's an interesting choice, because this map is quite a good map for harassing around the back with your air units. Your expansions, your mineral fields are exposed to that sort of thing. It's quite easy to get in the back there, so that'll be interesting to watch. Looks like Infernal correctly is going for Immortals, which will be a good unit against Roaches, but of course Red is able to build Mutalisks now, and Immortals can't attack here. So you see that it's a bit of an awkward position for Infernal. I mean, he's going to go with Immortals because he's expecting Roaches, but of course Red knows exactly what's going on, so it's very easy for him to just add a few Mutalisks into the mix, go and harass, while building Roaches and Zerglings. That's a combination which will counter any sort of build featuring Immortals. And he should really be able to take control of this game. And again, you'll be expecting him to take that high-yield mineral patch, the yellow minerals, and really take off, get tons of Roaches. Maybe he'll even bother taking to some Hive units, but he doesn't really need to. He should go to Hive just for the upgrades, for 3/3 upgrades on Roaches if the game goes on long enough. But in the meantime, he should really be able to dominate. Eventually, once he's got a massive army, he can just attack through the front. Because as we talked about, holding that choke point doesn't really give any advantage. Anyway, Mutalisks coming into the back, going to get all sorts of probe kills here. This is really going to frustrate Infernal. He hasn't got any cannons at the back. Now he's going to have to build cannons or keep his Stalkers around. Don't forget, Mutalisks will actually beat Stalkers if there's only a few Stalkers there. And just getting kill after kill on the drones here. This is probes, rather. This is really annoying. So instead, the Immortals are heading out to do a direct counterattack, knowing that Ret's invested in Mutalisks, and Mutalisks are out of position now, so it's going to be a fight. So in fact, Ret is actually moving into a fight without the support of the Mutalisks that he's invested in, so he'll have less Roaches to fight with. However, it looks like Ret's going to be winning the battle anyway, and finally the Roaches show up, and the Roach is able to actually do severe damage on the enemy units as well. And it's just a really ugly position for Infernal to be in. He's losing all of his expensive Immortals, and you really feel like, I mean, what could he have done against that? Possibly making air units, but if he did that, he'd have a pathetic round army, and the Roaches would probably just come through the front. Maybe build more Stalkers and have Stalkers around his base to fend off the Mutalisks and just wait for a while. Well, if he did that, well, he'd have less for things like Immortals and so forth, and the Roaches really just eat Stalkers for breakfast. So again, there'd be that inevitable frontal assault. And time is really on Ret's side. As you can see here, he's putting the expansion down at the high yield minerals. He's going back for more kills with the Mutalisks. Looks like Infernal's army mainly consists of Stalkers now, and as we just talked about, just going pure Stalkers to counter these Mutalisks is just going to fall, because even if Ret only has 2/3 of the number of Roaches compared to Stalkers, he's still going to win the fight. And when it's 2/3 Roaches and Mutalisks against pure Stalkers, it's going to be even easier. Because the Stalkers will just be trying to pick off the Mutalisks slowly, and they'll just be pummeled by those Roaches. Again, coming from the back here, this is just going to be annoying for Infernal. Either he's just going to have to GG here, or he's going to have to attack, and it's just going to be embarrassing either way. Ret's really got this game quite comfortably. He didn't really have to work very hard for it, I feel. He did have to micro quite well at the beginning, so he does have skill. It's not like a noob using Roaches or something. Ret's a good player. I might even go as far as saying he's a much better player at StarCraft 2 than Infernal. But as we've seen here, it's been quite difficult for Protoss to beat the strategy of Ret's under what Infernal's tried to do. So maybe other people have better ideas. Maybe other players can stop Ret. But he's now up 3-2. This next game could be the last one.